The reason I actually had my second two children at St. Vincent's was that I had another procedure done, not related to my pregnancies. And I was treated like family. I was treated like everybody cared about me, cared about what happened to me. Everything was handled so well that I knew that I wanted to be here when it came to bring my children into the world. I did a lot of research online to try to figure out where I wanted to receive my care, because when it comes to having a baby, you get really precise and you want to make sure that you're in the right place. The doctor that I was seeing at the time, he was amazing at explaining step by step the process of what was going to happen, what I should expect the day of, what my recovery was going to look like. He was comforting and warm and explained everything that I needed to know. When you go in, you rotate through and you see each doctor at least once. It was almost like each doctor, it got better and better. Each doctor was fully competent. Each doctor was warm and welcoming and answered every single question I had. I was just sort of blown away by the fact that doctors would take time out of their day and that they would make sure that all of my questions were answered and make sure that I had everything that I needed. It always felt like a family. It always felt like I was going to visit friends. My last pregnancy, my third child, was a bit of a surprise. Not that it had happened, but I don't know how to say that the right way. I went in very surprised that I was having another child, and I left laughing and comforted. The doctor that I saw gave me the biggest hug and said that everything was going to be perfectly fine. The resources are all in place to make sure that you have an incredible experience here, that you have the rest that you need, that you have the care that you need for your baby, that all of your questions are answered, that you have any resources available to you. Lactation consultants, the doctors come in and check on you. It's not just the nurses, although the nurses are outstanding. The nurses that I had while I was in labor, they knew everything that I needed before I knew I needed it. They anticipated every single need. They told me everything that I needed. And in the moment, you don't know what's happening and you don't know what you need. And they stopped me, said, take a breath. This is what we need to do. And they were right on target every single time. When I delivered my first child, I was at a different hospital. And something that I can really point out that was a huge difference was that at nighttime, when they would come in to check your vital signs, at this other hospital, they would come in and they would bang around, they'd turn on all the lights, and you'd be 3 o'clock in the morning, you just had a baby, you're exhausted, and you'd get woken up, the baby would get woken up, and it was a little bit more rough handled. At St. Vincent's, in the middle of the night when they have to come in to check your vitals, when they have to come in and check on the baby, they come in very quietly. They tap on the door so quietly, and they let themselves in, they turn on no lights. They come in, they check you, they check the baby, they whisper the whole time that they're in your room, they check to make sure you don't need anything, and then they, as quietly as they came in, they leave. And I can't even begin to explain how incredible that was, to not have the baby wake up, to have my sleep as uninterrupted as possible. My oldest, when he came to visit, was very jealous that mommy had a wrist bracelet with all of her information on it, and that the baby had a wrist bracelet, and that daddy had a wrist bracelet. So everybody had a bracelet except him, and one of the nurses heard him saying, I want a bracelet too, and heard me explaining, well, it's only because mommy and the baby and daddy are in the hospital. And the nurse took it upon herself to leave the room, print out a bracelet, and write all of my oldest son's information on the bracelet, and came back in and put it on his wrist so that he felt extra special as well. And he didn't take it off for 2 weeks.
What are they doing? Do they have cameras? What are they doing?